I just had a birthday, which makes you reflect. So here are 36 things that are important to me at 36. Smashing the white supremacist capitalist heteropatriarchy. Learning. I don't want to be the same today as I was yesterday, or the same tomorrow as I am today. I want to keep growing. Cooking good food for my friends and family. Providing lavish hospitality is important to me. Eating good food, which fortunately is easy to do here in Portland.
Cuban food.
Playing games. Making games. This is Arch Nemesis, one of about 4 games that I'm currently designing and playtesting. Climate justice. I tried not to put this list in any kind of order of importance or anything, but I could have just said climate justice for all 36 things and it would have been an accurate representation of how important this issue is relative to everything else. There won't be a human species to make lists of things we care about if we don't care about our environment first. Story, the way that metaphor and meaning and narrative shape our lives. I mean, I am basically a story I'm telling myself, and we collectively are having the impact that we're having on each other and on the world based upon those underlying narratives that we have bought into, that we have believed to be true about ourselves and the world. Reducing my consumption of meat. Imagination. I think it's really important that I spend time just playing pretending to be someone else, wearing different skin and different identities, inhabiting different worlds. It's maybe analysis that will help us figure out what's going on, but it's definitely imagination that's going to help us figure out what to do next. Writing. Being better at expressing myself, better at communicating emotion to others, and better at persuading people. That matters to me. Reading. At any given time, I always have at least one nonfiction, one fiction, and one book that I'm reading together with my family. So you know how when you get caught up with a series, you then have to wait for the next one to come out, and it's really excruciating waiting for that thing to finally arrive? Well, that thing for me right now is Scott Lynch's Gentleman Bastard series. Having a close community, a family of choice, people who we do life together, we laugh together, we cry together, we work hard together, we know that we can call each other in the middle of the night if we have a crisis, that we depend on each other. Trees. Honing my skills at making videos. Decolonizing our society and my church. Tearing down monuments. Returning landmarks to their indigenous names, paying reparations for stolen land and resources, repudiating the doctrine of discovery, telling the truth about our history, peeling out layers of colonial ideology, and beginning to understand the ongoing process of settler colonialism. Just trying to get myself to a place where I can approximate right relationship with the traditional inhabitants of this land, which entails accountability to people of color, which means it's important to me that I maintain relationships with people of color where I can be called out and where I have to respond for the actions that I engage in on a regular basis. The city of Portland. I love this place and I want it to flourish. My former homes that will always have a place in my heart: Monterey, California, Fort Morgan, Colorado, Edinburgh, Scotland, and Porto Alegre, Brazil. Surprise! I want to continue to be able to surprise people and to be surprised by things. Sleep. Travel. This world is just so awesome and I never want to stop exploring it. The Presbyterian Peace Fellowship is important to me. I give them my time and my money because I believe in what we're doing. The Peace USA is important to me. It's a weird thing to say because I don't care about like denominationalism per se, but at the same time this is my actual social and historical location and I want this institution to do right by the people who are within it, and I want to use my influence that I have, such as it is, within it to make it better. Parenting is something that's sort of woven through everything on this list. For example, a lot of the issues I care about and a lot of the things I care about, like imagination and play and games and reading and travel, are things I care about because I want my kids to care about them. I want my kids to grow up to be people who think that these things are important, and so I have to treat them as important now. The state of geekdom is something I think about. How do we root out the misogyny and racism that's a part of geek subcultures while making better comic books and video games and movies and such? Good sex, morally and aesthetically, and I think those things are mutually supportive, and I don't just mean for myself. I want to contribute to a society, to an ethos where people are encouraged to have relationships, sexual relationships that are virtuous and pleasurable. I want to live a beautiful life, a compelling life. I want to live a life that, if I'm fortunate enough to live till I'm old, that I look back at it and think, yes, I would want to live that life again, or that other people look at my life and think to themselves that it's a life worthy of trying to emulate, that there's something noble in it. Representation in media that I consume is increasingly important to me. Check out that video for an example of what I mean. There are lots of specific people who are important to me. I could have made a list just of people who are important to me, but it would have been way more than 36 names, so instead I'm just going to put one item on this list that's like, all you people I love, you're all very important to me. Except one person does get mentioned by name. Stacia, you are the most important. Apologizing, discovering where I'm wrong, and admitting it. The fourth estate. Showers. Courage. It's been said that courage is the form of all the other virtues at the testing point. If I'm a compassionate person but not a courageous person, then I'll only be compassionate so long as it's not difficult, as it's not challenging, as there's no cost to be paid. I want to be a courageous person so that any other virtues I have can last through difficult times. I don't want fear to impede or stop me from being able to do what is right. There you go, 36 things that are important to me at 36.